I'm Courtney. We're a family of 5 trying to grow as much of our own food as we can, and we raise chickens. Our kids wanted to name our little backyard farm, so we did. It's called Heart Pine Farms. This is our last corn harvest of the summer, and we're going to show you when corn is ready to be harvested, and we're also going to show you how we're going to preserve it. Here is an ear of corn that's ready to be harvested. So the first thing we look for is the shape of the ear. You can tell that it's full grown, but also at the top, when it's ready to be harvested, it's round like this. When it's pointed, it's not quite ready. So you can tell that it's round. So the second biggest thing to look for is the silk. So the silk is either going to be dry and brown, or it's just going to be gone like this because it probably dried and then fell right off. So that's the silk. Next, we're going to peel back a little bit and look at the kernels, and they look really good. These are really pretty kernels. So you can tell that they're fully formed here. Next, we're going to pierce into the kernel a little bit. And if a milky substance comes out, it's ready to harvest. If it's clear, it's not ready to be harvested. So you can see that the liquid is milky right there. It's ready to be harvested. So just by we have 3 corn beds, and just by looking at them all, the majority of the corn in these beds is ready to be harvested. So let's harvest. Throw it in there.
Ready, press it. Come on.
What, honey? Here, you can put this in. There you go, honey. There you go, good.
is just a personal preference, but we like to remove the kernels and can our corn because we like the flavor more than frozen ears. It's also convenient to have canned corn on hand for stews and casseroles and anything that requires cooked corn. To ensure food safety, we follow canning instructions really strictly from sources like Ball. Right here we're adding 1 cup of water for every 4 cups of corn. We measure the corn by weight. Here we're preparing our pressure canner. We're not going to provide specific instructions for pressure canning in this video because we think it's so important to follow the instructions strictly that come with the canner. We just like to provide a visual tool as we're working. We want to show that pressure canning isn't intimidating or dangerous as long as instructions are followed. We use the hot pack method for canning our corn, so we're bringing it to a boil and boiling it for 5 minutes before we fill our jars. Now we're ladling the hot corn into the jars. We're eyeballing a generous 1-inch headspace, which we'll measure and adjust once all of the jars are filled. We make sure there's plenty of liquid in each jar, so we top them off with boiling water. Next, we're removing air bubbles, checking headspace, wiping the rims of the jars, and placing the lids. We're making sure our canner has the right amount of boiling water in it because we know that our corn is going to take 55 minutes to process. The canner will be ruined if it runs dry. Our pressure canner holds 19 pint jars. We have a load of 18 this time. We're adding the bands to our jars and tightening them finger tight and loading them into the pressure canner. We're pressure canning our corn at 15 psi for 55 minutes. This is going to depend on your elevation and what you're canning. We're so happy to have 18 more jars of corn. We canned 19 jars from our first harvest of corn this summer. That's corn to use for 37 dinners total for our family of 5. After eating as much fresh corn on the cob as we could this summer, we'll be grateful to have some of the flavor of summer this winter. Having nutritious food from our garden preserved helps us save time and money, and it's also so delicious.